Jag minns ju den tid du gav mig life-bilder, yo. Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunna ge förut. Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för dig, baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger av min tid, jag vill ha det. Du får mig känna safety. Jag kan nog leda dig, baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra mig. Aldrig. Kommer aldrig känna så här för någon annan än dig. Aldrig. Kommer aldrig känna så här för någon annan än dig. Varje gång jag bak på dig, jag tänker vilket kap jag har gjort. Jag skulle gå tillbaks i tid, göra om allt igen och förstå. Ser det som ett allt, det är dig jag vill wifa. De här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger av min tid, jag vill ha det. Du får mig känna safety. Jag kan nog leda dig, baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra mig. Aldrig. Kommer aldrig känna så här för någon annan än dig. Aldrig. Kommer aldrig känna så här för någon annan än dig. Jag vet det bara life om igen. Jag vet det bara ta sin tid. Jag vet det bara life om igen och stay with me, please. Jag vet det bara life om igen. Jag vet det bara ta sin tid. Jag vet det bara life om igen och stay with me, please. Du lägger till, du är där för mig. Jag svär mitt liv kretsar runt dig, baby. Du bär på mina bebek så att när jag visionerar vår framtid. Låt mig hålla dig, baby. Hey, yeah. Kommer aldrig känna så här för någon annan än dig. Aldrig. Kommer aldrig känna så här för någon annan än dig. Jag vet det bara life om mig. Aldrig. Jag vet det bara ta din tid. Jag vet det bara life om igen och stay. Jag vet det bara life om mig. Aldrig. Jag vet det bara ta din tid. Jag vet det bara life om igen och stay.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fish, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real, jumping like hopscotch. Nobody harder than, oh no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday to you. Tremendous Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. This is the last honest place in America, brought to you by the good folks over at Sand Digital Media. My name is Nathan Ivey. Welcome back to the Nathan Ivey Show. It's a weekly, daily digital show where we talk about people, politics, and pleasure. Good morning to you. Now, I'm broadcasting live from a secret location somewhere in the greater Cincinnati area. I would tell you, but then I have to swear to secrecy, and there are some consequences to that, so I won't do it. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Why Black People Tend to Shout, March 2022 edition. And Black people tend to shout for numerous reasons. And there's a few things that make me want to shout that I want to share with you this morning. Perhaps you want to shout too. Sometimes you need a space just to get it out. Plus, perhaps a smattering of other topics related to, as I said, people, politics, and pleasure. There's a lot going on. I did get a chance to watch quite a bit of the confirmation hearings, like the opening statements, and it was about what we expected. It's about what we expected. The Republicans are going to try to paint Ketanji Brown Jackson as being soft on crime, as other things, which is a part of a national political campaign against Democrats in general. They're soft on crime. People's percept. I mean, running on crime or fighting against crime or the crime rate is like, that's one of the easiest things to do, it seems like. Politicians on all levels of government do it. Is it going to work? Probably not, because the Democrats have the number. You're going to see history, probably. You're going to see history making history. The first ever Black female vice president is going to come down, cast a deciding vote, more than likely. And then you'll have the first Black female Supreme Court justice. Like, how could we ever think that America is not racist? And here we are, it's 2022, and we're just now talking about the first Black female Supreme Court justice. Black female perspective has been locked out of the Supreme Court for years and years. You had white women's, you had Jewish women's, you had Hispanic women's, no Black women. But perhaps that's going to change within the next, I think they're going to say it's going to take about a month, maybe like 40-something days or so for this whole thing to be over with and be completed. And then you'll have the first ever Black female. It'll be great. You got a lot of young women, just in general. It's good for the culture, for our culture, for American culture, for the world at large. But you got a lot of aspiring, intellectual Black females on their way to college. They might be in high school. They're going to look at this and be like, damn, I can do that. That's big. I don't think you can discount that. Good morning to you. Welcome back. I'm still grizzly. I ain't feel like cutting it yet. I ain't feel like it. I'll get to it eventually. Good morning to you. Oh, man, what is this? Huh? What is this? Good morning to you. What up, what up? Drop writes, thanks for letting me in. Oh, okay, great. Good to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hold on, let me do one thing here on my end. It is. I think we're good. I think we're Gucci now. Good morning to you. To my people on Spreaker and TuneIn, I will never forget you. Good morning to you. Ray writes, good risings all. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and Chopper. Sharp writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. You got me for about an hour, then I got to make a move. Cruther writes, black beards matter, good matter. Oh, black beards matter, good morning. Oh, no, this ain't really a beard. This is just like me not cutting it. At this point, I'll take care of it sometime this week. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Mighty Choppers. Soft on crime. This ain't that. We talking about light sentencings for child rapists. These are the ones to not go lightly on. She won't be confirmed. Right. And in general, they're trying to make the point that she's soft on crime. She spent some time on the Commission for Sentencing in the United States. They're going to bring that up. They brought it up yesterday. So generally, they're trying to paint her as if she's soft on crime. It's not going to work. Thanks for the share, FG. It's not going to work. But what's interesting to me is, as I said yesterday at the end of the show, we're watching history. We've never been at this moment before with a black woman going through the Supreme Court confirmation hearing. For me, it's very interesting to watch the way that social media, the media, the internet reacts to it. Very interesting. Marisha Rice, good morning. Good to see you. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Darlene Rice, Grand Risings, all happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. So, Dean, I got a chance to watch most of the opening statements, and Josh Hawley, I mean, these senators think they're so smart. They're trying to set the table to try to force her to respond to the things that they want her to talk about, right? And they got to have something. You know, to me, it's like she must have an impeccable record if they're talking about these little things, right? You know, why did you, as a public defender, why did you defend people that were in Guantanamo Bay? Because they need to be defended, period. I mean, hell, you know, the Sackler family had a defense team. These were the rich folks behind the Oxycontin opioid crisis. They had a defense team. I mean, you know, people need representation. But to me, just looking at their arguments tells me how little they really have to say in terms of being negative about her. I think she'll be confirmed. Marsha Blackburn showed her hood yesterday. Really? Is that right? Send me a link. Somebody writes, soft on crime, she is endorsed by the national FOP. I'm just saying, right. Nakia writes, I don't remember Brett Kavanaugh going through all these changes. Maybe you didn't watch it. Yeah, Brett Kavanaugh, and Drop brought him up yesterday. It was a bad comparison. He never should have brought up Brett Kavanaugh. He just walked into a landmine on that one. But Brett Kavanaugh did something strange back in the day. Like I said, I know plenty of men. There's plenty of people out there that's gone through federal court proceedings and Supreme Court. He was the only one I can remember that was accused of, you know, potentially trying to rape somebody back in high school. I believe the woman. I'll put it like that. I believe her. I believe her. Just like I believe that Deshaun Watson, who's the new quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, he's got all these allegations. I think he was probably overstepping some boundaries. And the allegation was, and I don't know all of them, maybe you know him, but Deshaun Watson is a black man. He's a quarterback. He just got the richest NFL contract ever from the Cleveland Browns. Now, he can thank the Cincinnati Bengals for that because the Cleveland Browns are our interstate rival. And they sat back and was like, you know, they was hating on us. I got some Cleveland family. They was straight hating on us, family. They was hating on us. Some of them were. I had some family members that were straight hating on us. They ain't want to watch the game. They ain't want to talk about it. I'm talking about my brother-in-law, Will. That's what I'm talking about. He don't want to talk. He don't want to talk about it because he in his feelings because they thought that they had a better team than us. Misery loves company, right? And Cleveland Browns fans, as miserable as they have been, and again, we only talk about sports because that's all it is. But what made them feel a little bit better is that the Bengals were trash as well. Then the Bengals shocked the world, Craig. They shocked the world. And Cleveland fans, some of them was in their feelings. They was in their feelings, yo. They did not like it that we were having a good time and it made a Super Bowl run. They did not want us to win the Super Bowl. Aside from LA Rams fans, the other fan base in America that was rooting against us was in Cleveland because misery loves company. So we drafted, and by we, I mean very loosely, I mean that geographically. The Bengals drafted Joe Burrow. He turns out to be, you know, to live up to expectations. They put together a nice little team. Cleveland Browns is watching like, damn, well, we got to do something. So when Deshaun Watson, who's been suspended because he had all these allegations that he was doing something strange. I mean, come on, man. What is you doing? And as I understand right now, he's got 22 civil lawsuits against him. And I wouldn't doubt. Now, I can't tell you I've read through every case and know every allegation, but I wouldn't doubt that Deshaun Watson did something. Now, what's interesting here is there will be no criminal charges. So whatever he did, prosecutors didn't think it rose to the level, or they didn't have sufficient evidence, in their opinion, to take it that way. They couldn't get it. So now, if you're a big time somebody and you got millions and millions of dollars, and he does, now what do people do? They go after your pockets. So he was drafted by the Houston Texans and then most recently traded to the Cleveland Browns. There's a big conversation on right now about the ethics of it, the morality of it. Like, should the Browns have given this brother a big contract when he allegedly did something strange with women? Now, it wasn't criminal, but he's alleged of exposing himself, touching women with his penis, kissing them against their will during massage sessions. One woman alleges that Watson forced her to perform oral sex. Yeah, it's a black man. Black man and his penises, man. Is a black man and his penis is always going to be highly politically charged in these Americas. It's always going to be that way. Everybody want to know what the black man is doing with his penis. I'm telling you. It's just different. I think birth of a nation, that whole mentality, it continues. Now, here's what I say. I say if you do the crime, you do the time, and I don't give a damn who you are. You can be family. You can be friends. You do the crime, homie, you do the time. I ain't got no tears for you, period. And you're a big-time superstar quarterback. From what I understand, I forgot now, and I whether he wasn't watching the NFL. I haven't watched the NFL since Colin Kaepernick, who, by the way, seems like he's trying to get back in the NFL. I mean, that's him. Do him. Personally, I don't care. It makes no difference to me. He made his point. We know who the NFL is. We know what's going on. End of story, in my opinion. It is what it is. Again, should black people even be watching the NFL after what they did with Colin Kaepernick? But nobody wants to hear that in Cincinnati because we just drafted 3 offensive linemen. And Cincinnati Bengal fans are looking forward to next year. Y'all don't want to hear that shit, do you? You don't want to hear nothing about not watching the NFL, do you? I know, it's uncomfortable. Deshaun Watson has 22 sexual assault lawsuits alleging that he did a range of things, exposing himself, touching women with his penis, kissing them against their will. Apparently, these are women who like work in that industry and they do massages. Like if you're a big time athlete or in any way, you understand that, you know, after you work out, part of the recovery process is a massage. Now, us regular folks, we don't know nothing about that. You like massage. But when you're a big time athlete, that helps with the recovery process. You can recover quickly. Your muscles can recover. You can get back out there on the field and perform on a high level. So a lot of these dudes have a masseuse. Is that the right thing? A masseuse? I think that's a female. Or masseur. I don't know. They have a massage therapist. You keep it simple. And they'll come in and they'll rub them down. Like, but that's clinical. That's a part of the health. It ain't sexual. That's like a part of the body to help it recover. Especially when you're a big time athlete like that. And apparently you got a lot of women in that industry. You know, it is what it is. And allegedly, he took advantage of that. Now, as a man, I just can't see it. I don't see it. I'm Deshaun Watson. I got millions, and I'm black. Why do I have to force anybody to do any damn thing? I don't get it. But every man is built differently. Some people like that kind of ish. Some people like that. And you do have that jock mentality, right? That mentality of entitlement. That's what I think happened with Kobe. R.I.P. But I still believe Kobe raped that woman. I still believe Kobe did something to that woman. This is just me. I'm going to believe that no matter what. If Kobe got a problem with it, then when I get to the heavenly after, I know they're going to have a basketball court up there, and I will be there because everybody's tight in heaven on the basketball court. Ain't no twisted ankles. Everybody's stamina on fleek, on 100. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be there. He can tell me himself. Until then, this is what I believe. But you do have that sense of entitlement, right? From people that like these big time athletes, they've never been around a woman that told them no, right? They've never been around a woman that didn't want them. And so when they get around a woman that tells them no, they're like, who you think you are? You little peon? Do you know who I am? I'm Kobe Bryant. Sorry, I'm Deshaun Watson. You can't tell me no. What you mean no? You don't tell me no. Yeah, I believe that mentality is out there in some of these athletes because, you know, some women throw themselves with these kind of guys. They absolutely throw themselves at these kind of guys. I remember being at University of Cincinnati, and I would watch women, college-age women, just throw themselves at dudes that was either like in a frat or there was a big man on campus in terms of athletics. The football players get all the ussy because football season is the first season. They're walking around looking like the 300 out here. It's irresistible to these women. And so you get some of these dudes and they got this in their head, like, I'm God's gift to women. And they come across the woman and tell them no, they don't know how to deal with it. It's like, no means yes. You really want this. I believe that. I believe it. But I also believe that there's no criminal charges. Now, just because there's no criminal charges with Deshaun Watson doesn't mean that he didn't do anything wrong. It could be there's just not enough evidence. And as I understand it, the threshold in a civil case is lower than in a criminal case, so he might end up paying out women. And so people are criticizing the Cleveland Browns, saying, like, why you bring this guy in when you know he did this stuff to these women just because he's good at football? But that's your answer. It's because he's good at football, man. You know how this goes? He's good at what he does. And the Cincinnati Bengals are showing up the Cleveland Browns inside the state of Ohio. So they had to do something desperate. They had to bring in somebody. Baker Mayfield, go sit your ass down. He out of here. Belly aching and whining. Why are they bringing somebody better than me? It's called sports. You don't get to how that. Be better. Be better. You don't get to belly ache because you get replaced. You should have played better. Simple as that, man. We are living in the last days with these big-time sports guys with all these money and all these muscles and stamina. It's a man's game out here whining and complaining about little stuff. Don't call me West Brick. Meanwhile, you just keep bricking. He seems to have turned around the last few games. Speaking of Russell Westbrook, big win by the Lakers last night. LeBron out there dunking on white dudes, dunking on Kevin Love. You know, damn apologies. So there's a big conversation now in the sports world about the morality of this. And I'm like, morality? Negro, please. Ain't no morality. It's win or lose, period. Win or lose. If Deshaun, listen, in our culture, what I've seen is might make right. The ends justify the means. And, hey, if you have to hurt a few people, but yet you're still valuable to a sports franchise, and it doesn't look too bad, come on in here. Now, with Ray Rice, they couldn't bring him back because we saw the video. Punk-ass Negro. You got to do that with your woman or any woman? Some punk-ass ish right there. You got all these muscles, Ray Rice. You know you deadlifting about 1,000 pounds, and you're going to throw her around the inside of an elevator? Weakness, in my opinion. Straight-up weakness. Straight-up weakness. You know, his career was over with. The NFL couldn't touch him because they had the video. With Deshaun Watson, we don't have no video. And we don't have no criminal charges. And as I understand it, this is what the sports world keeps telling me, he's one of the best NFL quarterbacks out there. And he's young. You know he don't give him a job. If the league, the same league that got rid of Colin Kaepernick is most certainly going to embrace Deshaun Watson. Absolutely. Because he's valuable. Because he can throw that football. He's good at throwing that football. That's all that matters. Might makes right. The ends justify the means. If you get wealthy by preying on people, nobody gives a damn as long as you can show off your house. Nobody cares. As long as you can show off your house on Instagram or Facebook or social media in general and show off your cars, nobody cares about how you got it. We only care about what you got. That's how we go. Same thing with Deshaun Watson. Pay attention. If you can throw that football, then we got a job for you. F them women. That's what the Cleveland Browns said. They said F them women, basically. And they did it because of the Cincinnati Bengals. All that pressure. Telling you. My brother-in-law, Will, didn't even want to talk to us. My wife tried to call him. That's her biological brother. He didn't want to talk to us. Why? He out sour grapes because he live in Cleveland and we in the Super Bowl. Telling you, Cleveland, some of them Cleveland fans was not rooting for us. They happy now, though. They don't give a damn what he did to them women up in Cleveland. All they care about is that the brother comes in there and he throws that football. That's it. Nothing else matters. They don't give a damn. Women, huh? Who? What? I don't know what you're talking about. And if Deshaun Watson comes in, and again, I'm not hating on this brother. I'm really talking about the circumstances that we live in, our culture. That's the kind of culture that we live in. If he comes in and he delivers the goods, like he's a top flight quarterback, the team makes it to the playoffs, nobody's going to give a damn about any of this stuff. Nobody want to hear that. Especially with no criminal charges. So he's got 22 allegations of sexual abuse, battery. Let me look it up here. I want to speak very correctly. A sexual assault. Sexual assault, that's the word I want to use. Not abuse, not battery, but sexual assault. He got 22 women have accused him of sexual assault in a civil lawsuit. And an NFL team just gave him the richest contract, and it's all guaranteed. He got $250 million, all guaranteed in football. That's unheard of. Meanwhile, Colin Kaepernick took a knee and couldn't get a goddamn job in the NFL with no teams. Now, was he as good as quarterback as Deshaun Watson? Well, he did take the 49ers to the Super Bowl. But I think if you asked a lot of like smart people, way smarter than me, they spend a lot more time in sports than I do, they'll probably say no, that as a pure athletic quarterback, Deshaun Watson would be better. So it makes you wonder if Colin Kaepernick was like a Deshaun Watson type of quarterback where he was like, no doubt about it, he's one of the best football throwers in the league. Would he have gotten another shot? I don't know. Something tells me no. Because his views about American politics was more of an issue than the fact that Deshaun Watson might have sexually assaulted a few women. It's like, they probably wanted it. If you don't want people to put your penis on you, why would you be massaging them, right? That kind of warped ass mentality. Can you feel me on this? You hear what I'm saying? It's very interesting. Very interesting. Colin Kaepernick never sexually assaulted nobody. Nobody ever alleged that. All he did was say, I don't want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance because it's some bullshit. Y'all some hypocrites. And oh, by the way, will somebody say something about the ongoing abuse at the hands of police officers across the country? That's all he did. Couldn't get a job. Couldn't get a job. If his only offense was that he had sexually assaulted some women, it's like, I mean, it's just a penis. How bad could it be? I mean, how bad could it be? He put his penis on you. You know what I'm saying? He takes it off. What's the big deal? It's the world we live in. Politically Petty writes, Deshaun Watson, better quarterback than Kaepernick. I mean, that's what I understand as well. That's how I understand it. But I'm just saying, it's just, that NFL, man, the morality of it is different. Not really. It's American. Might makes right. Women, not that important. If you can throw that football, come on in here. We got a job for you. We got a job for you. And people are criticizing the Cleveland Browns because of the way they structured Deshaun Watson's. This is not really about sports. Some of you might think I'm talking sports, but I'm really talking culture. I'm really talking culture. And I'm hipping you to what's going on here. There's always a controversy brewing in America. Right now, there's a controversy surrounding one of the sports teams in Ohio. We're in Ohio, so it seems an apropos conversation. But apparently, the Cleveland Browns have structured his deal in a way that if he gets suspended a few games this year, he's not going to lose a lot of money. So it's like the team is kind of helping him sort of circumvent any disciplinary action that the league might take on him for these allegations. And the other thing about it, we're talking about allegations. I don't have a problem with it. Dale writes, okay, call me back, Drop. I'll put you right on, man. Dale writes, Watson returns to form. He's top 5 in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He might be. Apparently he is. He got paid. He got paid. Some people might be saying, you know what? It's unfair to Deshaun Watson. He hasn't been found guilty of anything. Why would he have to lose time? And what I would say is it comes with the job. You got a big-time job like that with all this visibility in our culture, in the community, then what's going to come with this is more scrutiny and more responsibility. What does that mean? You might get judged and treated differently than other people that's got less of a position. It comes with the territory. Is it fair? I don't know. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. I'll say it again. Deshaun Watson allegedly sexually assaulted women. No criminal charges, though, but civil allegations. And I think that could be enough. I think a civil that should be enough to make the NFL be like, wow, what's going on here? Should he lose his job over it? Well, I don't think so. He may have to pay off some money. Very interesting. I want to get your thoughts about it. Kush writes, good morning, Nathan Ivey Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Nakia writes, I don't remember Brett Kavanaugh going through all these changes. Brett Kavanaugh was on some Deshaun Watson type ish. There was a lot of suspicion. Like Brett Kavanaugh was cultivated to be a Supreme Court justice by some very, very extreme conservative elements in our culture. Like he was chosen, right? And groomed is the right word. He was groomed throughout his whole career to do what he did. And then when it got to the 11th hour to the Senate, right before the Senate confirmation hearing, some allegations came out by a woman. I think it was credible, professor, white female, and she said at a party when he was in high school that he tried to basically push up on her, and she basically barely got away. How relevant is that? I would say it's relevant. I want to know. Long time ago, he was in high school. He's a grown man now with kids. Would he ever do something like that? You have to make a decision. But yeah, Brett Kavanaugh, as do all the Supreme Court justices, they get heavily scrutinized by the other side. So the president nominates, and then the other side in the Senate, they go after him. So he got his time in the sun as well. Everybody gets it. I think we got Drop on the line. Let's go to my brother Drop. Good morning, little brother. Oh, he hung up. I told you I'd bring you back on, brother. Little bro, you feel free to call in, man. Crystal writes, good morning. Marsha Blackburn showed her ass yesterday. Really, what'd she do? What'd she do? She was a little bit out there. Rolling Stone says Marsha Blackburn lectures first black woman. See, this is what I'm talking about. Apparently, she talked to her about so-called white privilege. So-called. Marsha Blackburn is a senator from Tennessee, I believe. Oh, we got Drop on the line. Hey, good morning, little brother.
See, why the disrespect?
Disrespect?
So early in the morning,
Disrespect?
Mr. Ivey.
My brother.
I have given you the ultimate respect from day one. I remember back in the day, Mr. Ivy, people used to complain, why he call you Mr. Ivy all the time? Why he older than you? Mr. Ivy, you got to stop with the little bro, because all that does is tell people that I have triggered you. I am under your skin. I'm making your beard itch. So, Mr. Ivy, I heard your monologue this morning.
As all the big brothers.
Mr. Ivy, yesterday on Twitter, I did a spaces. I was only going to do it for like a half hour. Wasn't nobody coming in the beginning. And then it started popping, Mr. Ivy. And the topic was, can Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson and Ukraine save the desperate Democrat Party for the 2022 midterms? Now, when I heard your monologue this morning, you pointed out some of the opening statements by Republicans like Marsha Blackburn and Senator, you know the guy, the white guy. I can't even think of his name, but you know he read the case.
Which one?
He read,
they're all
yeah.
white guys.
Josh Hawley. Very funny.
Josh Hawley, right?
Yeah, Josh Hawley, and he's bringing up these previous cases that the judge had overruled because of her light sentencing, and one of them, Fame Rothstein brought up was about the pedophile. Now, Mr. Ivy, you remember what I told you yesterday on my call, and you questioning me again like you always do. Tell me I was 100% right about everything that I said yesterday based on these opening statements that you heard from both sides, how the Democrats are trying to start a fight that's not there. You got all these people like Politically Petty, Daryl from Atlanta, trying to bring up all this racist stuff pertaining to Judge Jackson that the Republicans have not even said. Josh Hawley and Marsha Blackburn, they're all talking about her record. And I'm telling you right now, Mr. Ivey,
that's not true.
The Democrats. Say again?
That's not true. They weren't all just talking about her record.
Yes, they were. I saw it. I listened.
Now, Lindsey Graham,
they weren't talking. Okay.
And I'm surprised you didn't bring this up, but Lindsey Graham in his opening
Well, I was just getting ready to say it, and then you cut me off.
Okay, go right ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, what I was going to say, if you heard, well, obviously you heard Lindsey Graham. Mm-hmm. Lindsey Graham praised her family, said he has nothing against her, but he feels that questions need to be answered about some of her cases.
No, there was something else he said,
the
too.
Other bullshit. Huh?
There was something else he said. He tried to play the race card.
Well, of course, they both did it. That's what I just told you, sir.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham tried to play the race card in his opening statement. He was like, oh, yeah, she's this, she's that. But there was a nominee from my state who I feel like she didn't get enough recognition. So he's trying to play these black women against each other like the Democrat.
Right.
He's trying to play the race card. You didn't bring that up.
Oh, Mr. Ivey, you are in my head. I was just getting ready to say, the other woman that was on the list, and I'm sorry, I forget her name, but Lindsey Graham brought her up because she was bipartisan. Yeah, she was bipartisan. She was endorsed by James Clyburn, Mr. Bipartisan. You know he got Joe Biden's back. Mr. Bipartisan, work across the aisle. Remember the infrastructure bill that needed 13 Republicans to pass? That was bipartisan, work across the aisle. So Lindsey Graham brought up the point. Just like I'm saying, you could have put this other judge that was on your list and had bipartisan support. You could have put her up, but you didn't. You chose Judge Jackson because, like they keep bringing up, she was a public defender. She's endorsed by FOP. These are button issues to go against Republicans in the Senate when they don't vote or they don't confirm her, and they're going to say, see, even the FOP support her, and these racist Republicans won't. They're going to use her. And that's what I don't like about the desperate Democrats.
You are just completely flipping this. Wow. I mean, the fact that
Mr. Ivey, this is a
the fact, can I say something? Because you've been talking for a minute. Can we have a conversation? The fact that
you just rarely engage me in conversation, but I'm
engage
getting
you in
used
conversation
to it now.
all the
Go
time.
ahead.
No,
but
the fact of the matter is that Lindsey Graham is trying to play the race card. In his opening statement, he's talking about Michelle Childs, right? And she was a woman, black female judge that was on the list. But guess what? Elections have consequences. Joe Biden is the president. He gets to decide who the nominee is. It don't matter who else is on the list.
He put her on the list.
It don't matter.
Why was she on the list then, Mr. Ivey?
It don't matter.
Why did James Clyburn?
Off of the list, and now Lindsey Graham and the Republicans are trying to play the race card. They're trying to pit these two black people against each other. And you follow.
Why did James Clyburn endorse Judge Childs and not
because he
Judge
wanted
Jackson,
to?
Nate?
Because he wanted to. That's why he did.
No,
and it doesn't matter why.
Okay.
It don't matter why.
Again,
the only
Mr.
thing
Ivey.
that matters
Yes,
is what Joe Biden wanted to do. That's the only opinion that ultimately mattered. I'm sure
Mr.
there's a
Ivey,
lot of Democrats who had other names or who favored some of the other people on the list, but none of that matters because they didn't run for president. Joe Biden gets to decide, period. And that's just what it is. Just like it was Trump.
You're acting as if politics does not exist in this hearing. This is an election year, Mr. Ivey, where the damage in the House of Representatives could be, as Barack Obama called it when it happened to him, it could be a shellacking. And he lost 63 seats. Now, again, the predictions and the internal polling right now, worst case scenario is the Democrats lose 50 seats. Best case scenario, they lose 30. So what they're trying to do in the Senate with this hearing of this strong black woman who will be the first black female to sit on the court, what they're trying to do is use this for the upcoming election as political campaign ads, as fundraising. They're going to. That's why they were saying the bullshit that they were saying in the opening statement.
Right.
It was so obvious.
Thank you.
What was going on?
You're speaking about the Republican Party, right?
She's sitting up there.
You're speaking about the Republican
Party,
right?
You're
speaking about the Republican senators, right?
Mr. Ivey, both sides spoke yesterday, all damn day.
Yeah, but you only seem to be criticizing one side of the aisle, and the crazy shit came from your party.
No,
you guys just want to talk about so-called white privilege,
Mr. Ivey. Mr. Ivey, see again. Everybody up to this point, everybody knows the label on the Republican Party, especially the ones who brought up her case. And you pointed it out. Lindsey Graham told everybody this is the tactics that the Democrats are going to use. Play the clip, Mr. Radio Man.
No.
He did say it.
He told everybody what the Republican Party's tactic is.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about?
Now, this is going nowhere.
You're flipping this, man. You flipping this, bro.
No, I am
flipping it.
Mr. Ivey, I am the lone voice, okay, in here when it comes to a different point of view. Because the other people that used to be part of your show that had similar views as mine, it kind of evened things out slightly. But when I stand here alone and you're the host, you're gonna say the things as if I'm trying to beat up Democrats. I ain't beating up Democrats.
You're not trying to beat up Democrats. You're always trying to beat up Joe Biden. But what you're doing
I'm a political pundit, Nate.
You're blocking
you know
what
I
the
am.
Republican the politics and the games that the Republican senators are playing right now. That's what you're really doing. But it's okay, bro.
You used to call me a political pundit. You used to call me a political pundit, where you embrace my political point of view when Trump was in there.
It don't mean I'm not going to tell you if I think my little brother's wrong. What kind of brother would I be if I didn't correct my little brother? Come on now.
Well, okay, man. Okay, Nate. I'm gonna hang up because I see somebody in the chat, and I think he might try to call in and oppose what I'm saying. But again, Nate, it's politics.
What are you saying?
Well,
brother?
You're gonna see. I just told you, Lindsey Graham. He said it well. He pointed out everything that they were saying. He said it's gonna happen. He knows it. And play the clip where Lindsey Graham said, "Well, we ain't scared. Y'all can call us racist if we ask her about her record." We ain't scared. We're going to do it anyway. Play that part, Mr. Ivy.
You had a
and
white
on that
woman talking
here
to,
we go.
Wait. We've only had 2 black or brown people on the Supreme Court in the Supreme Court's history. And this white woman had the nerve to question this sister about whether there is so-called white privilege. Talk about a hypocrite. It's like, woman, just open your eyes and see what's going on. And you want to talk about what the Democrats are doing. Okay,
Mr.
bro.
Ivey, again, I critiqued the hearing yesterday before it started. And you know good and well, I called it 100%. I told you this was going to happen.
Tell me what was going to happen.
Mr. Ivey.
What did you tell us was going to happen that we didn't already know was going to happen?
I told you they were going to try to frame it in a way to where they're going to make the Democrats, they're going to try to make the Republicans. Remember, this is politics, Nate.
Of course.
They're going to try to bring down Republicans with the racist label. And that's why I say they're playing the race card.
How did the Democrats, wait, sir. So yesterday, give me an example of how the Democrats tried to bring down the Republicans by saying they're racist.
I'm not playing your game, Mr. Ivey.
You're not going to play the game of answering questions? Okay, I get it.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's how you phrase the questions.
I just simply reiterated your statement in the form of a question. What are you talking about?
No, you could have gotten the clip from Lindsey Graham because he said it all.
If
He's
it's
the
so
ranking
simple, then just
member.
Tell me
he is the ranking member.
Because we're talking about what happened yesterday, right? Tell me how yesterday that the Democrats tried to make the Republicans look racist.
Okay, I'll give you one example. Give you one example. When Josh Hawley brought up that case, right?
What case?
About the light sentencing for the pedophile and how it was overturned. He mentioned 2 or 3 cases.
He mentioned about 7 cases. He mentioned 7 cases.
Right,
See, the problem is I watch most of it, so you just can't say anything because I have a great memory.
You never let me finish.
I want to correct you, brother. He mentioned 7 cases in particular and then said there was a few other cases he could bring up, but he just wasn't going to waste the time on it. But I'm listening. Go ahead.
And they were all cases, from my recollection, where her decision was overturned.
No.
And that was the... okay. See, I can't...
Don't run from this now.
Okay.
Don't run.
No, I'm not. You keep cutting me off. Okay.
That's not what happened.
I'm going to give you... Let me give you the example that I was trying to explain to you. You keep cutting me off.
All right, I'm going to mute myself and just listen.
You know I'm old, and you know I'm going to lose my train of thought. This is a tactic that you radio guys do.
You're stalling, sir. Stop stalling.
Okay.
Get to it.
All right. Okay. All right. When Josh Hawley brought up the case, right, there was a Democrat senator, I think it was Padilla from California, that replaced Kamala. He said that she is overly qualified. And by bringing up these cases, you're questioning a black woman's qualifications. That's how they do it, Nate. And all of these Democrats, they were all playing the same card. That's why they kept saying she's overly qualified. Don't question nothing. Just let her go. But they already know, Nate, the Democrats have the votes. They don't need one damn Republican
you didn't
vote.
Explain your point,
but they do want to show through the lens of America that this black woman, remember everything black except for her husband, that she is the reason why these evil, white, racist Republicans don't like black people.
What?
See, Nate, it's so obvious, bro.
What?
I've seen it so many times.
You just making shit up now, little bro. I gotta call you.
No, I ain't making up nothing. You asked the question.
Your original point, and now
you asked the question, but you don't like the answers that I give you.
I'm just holding you accountable to what you said, Nate. Sir. You said it.
Right. I thought you embraced my point of view.
I
now
do
you
embrace
try
your
to
point of view, but you just can't say anything.
Okay, so
this is a Nathan
I mean,
Ivey show.
bro,
You just can't call it and say
I
anything.
know,
And I'm
Nate.
gonna let you roll on it.
I'm not saying anything. You keep cutting me off when you ask me a
I'm
question.
not cutting you
How
off.
can I
I'm
just
simply having a conversation with you, brother. That's it. You
Exactly.
made a point,
And-
and then you were supposed to give us an example. You never gave us an example
Right.
that matches the point.
Okay, Nate, again, bro, again, little bro, little bro.
I am your little
Listen,
brother. I
I
embrace
know
it.
you don't like my point of view because it comes
I
from
relish your point of view.
it comes from a black, not Democrat perspective, and the key word is Democrat. And when I say something that I see in politics from a black, not Democrat point of view, you get in your feelings.
I'm not in my
Because
feelings.
the fact remains,
and you saying I'm in my feelings is not going to make your point.
The fact remains that the woman's appointment, which should have happened a long time ago, like let's go say between 2008 and 2016, when the first black president had 3 opportunities. And now I'm sounding like Stephen A. Smith. That black man had 3 freaking opportunities to put a black woman on the court, but he ain't do it. So again, we talking politics, Nathan. And on that note, sir, because this is only day 2 of the hearing. So I'm going to have commentary about what I'm predicting is going to happen today when the questioning starts. You watch what happens, and I will be calling in tomorrow to confirm again that Drop Squad 52 continues to drop science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace out, Nate.
Appreciate the call. Appreciate him. Brother, you never made your point. Let me reiterate for people at home that might have gotten lost. You said that the Democrats were trying to make the Republicans look racist. I simply asked you to give me an example. You never did that. That example you gave does not match the point that you made. You did not prove your point, sir. I'm sorry. I wish you did, but you did not. You can't blame the Democrat Party because Marsha Blackburn said something that some people would look at her and make her think she a Karen. That's on her. She did that. You know, questioning Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson because she sat on the board of a school that teaches students about white privilege. Huh? So now white privilege ain't a real thing? And you didn't call in here and talk about everything but that. Everything than that. In his opening statement, and see, you didn't think I was going to watch it, and that's where you got caught. So I watched most of it. That's what I spent most of yesterday doing. I wanted to make sure I was up for the conversation. And Lindsey Graham in his opening statement tried to play the race card. I'm just upset because the nominee from my state, Michelle Childs, she wasn't even considered. Who cares? You don't get to choose the nominee for the president. The president came up with a list. There's a bunch of names on the list. He chose a name off the list. That's it. But he's playing a race card. See, Republicans care about black progress too. I would have chose Michelle Childs. It's just a difference of opinion. We don't have a problem putting black people in powerful positions. Get the fuck out of here, Lindsey Graham. Shut up. Brown nose and Lindsey Graham. His nose, his lips was perpetually fixed to Trump's arse the whole time he was in office. Everybody knows it. Even Republicans was like, damn, what's wrong with Lindsey Graham? He didn't change. And it's clear to me that they don't really have a whole lot to say about her. Like, that's the game. When you say it's politics, that's the game at this point. The Republicans are going to try to bring her down. They're going to try to bring up all the negatives. And then the Democrats, that's the party that nominated her, are going to try to list all her superlatives. That's the game of politics. But when you look at what they have to say about her, it's like, really? She was on the board of education in a school that teaches kids about white privilege. This is what you're talking about? Really? And we're talking about her being a part of a group of which they've never, ever had a black woman before, ever. They've only had 2 people of color in the history of it, period. 3 people of color in the history of it. That's it. That's it. In the whole time we ever had a Supreme Court, there's only been 3 people of color, and she got the nerve to talk about so-called white privilege. I mean, you can't make this up. So no, the Democrats didn't make the Republicans look like racist. The Republicans made themselves look like that with these silly-ass questions and statements. They did it to themselves. But he calling here caping for him. I mean, come on, if we're going to have the conversation, let's talk about the facts. Let's talk about what actually happened. Matter of fact, I got a clip for you. Check this out. Check out this clip. This is Marsha Blackburn. Check this out. You ain't believe this. This is crazy. Check this out. Ready?
And here we need a little clarity. At a time when these parental rights appear to be under assault by the radical left, your public comments about, and I'm going to quote you, the transformative power of progressive education, end quote. These are deeply concerning. You serve on the board of a school that teaches kindergartners, 5-year-old children, that they can choose their gender and teaches them about so-called white privilege.
I would have to double check. I don't believe a damn thing that comes out of Marsha Blackburn's mouth. That's number one. I don't believe a damn thing that comes out of her mouth. So I can't say whether that's true or not. Don't sound right to me. Y'all teaching 5-year-olds that? I don't believe it. I don't know. But even if they are, so what? You're teaching kindergartners about white privilege. Huh? See, that's the new move now. The new move is that never happened. They Holocaust deniers. You know, it's tantamount to being a Holocaust denier. You know, Holocaust never happened. They just made that up to make us look bad. Oh, slavery wasn't that bad. I mean, you had food and shelter. White privilege? What do you mean white privilege? I mean, I know white people that are just as poor as black people. So-called white privilege? She should be recalled for that nonsense. Absolutely ridiculous. It's the world we live in. So you're right. That's all political theater. This is all politics and theater at this point. Absolutely. It's going to lead up to the vote. She's going to probably become the next Supreme Court justice. It is what it is, but it's very interesting. This is what I was talking about yesterday. It's going to be interesting just to watch how the world reacts, how the media reacts, how these Republicans react, how the internet reacts to the confirmation of a black woman to a job that nobody can take for her. Like, I read something startling within the last 24 hours. Would you like to know what that is? I read that half of the black women in America make $15 or less. So here we are on the national stage talking about putting a black woman into a lifetime position of authority. You know this is a culture clash. America's not invested in that. America's never been invested in giving black people, primarily even black women, those kind of positions. They've never done it before. It's never happened before. I read that half of the black women in the country make $15 or less. Now, we already know about Cincinnati, right? Because the women over the people of the Women's Fund, they did a study and they found something very similar is happening in Cincinnati as well. So the backdrop is this conversation about this black woman being in a lifetime position of authority. America has never been invested in putting non-white people in lifetime positions of authority. It's never happened. So people are going to act up. Oh, it's going to get real. It's going to get more than that. It's going to get realer than that. Keep watching. It's going to be very interesting. Listen, if you want to share your thoughts this morning, 513-873-7134. We got Daryl on the line. Hey, good morning, Daryl. Welcome.
What's up, Nate?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, did you, that whole ordeal you had with Drop, that's how he is in his spaces. I mean, you try to make a counterpoint, he talks over you with his nonsense. Because you remember, even when with his call with you, he always kept saying Biden chose Ketanji Brown Jackson because in his mind, this would give fuel for the Democrats to use the race card. I'm still trying to figure out that whole thought process because the whole anything doing with race came up. You heard it yesterday. It came up from the Republicans,
right?
Not the Democrats, but he's trying to play this Jedi mind trick or transference of, projection or something onto the Democrats. But here's the thing. Ketanji Brown Jackson was on the short list from Obama's administration. So Lindsey Graham up there crying. I mean, what? The one lady was a moderate. They're going to probably, Biden's probably going to nominate her for the federal district court in D.C. So she's going to take Ketanji Brown Jackson's place once she's confirmed onto the Supreme Court. So, I mean, Lindsey Graham need to go somewhere and sit down. I mean, the whole thing, drop is talking about where, the Democrats are using race and that's why they chose her. No, they chose her because she was the most qualified candidate out there, more qualified than the last few that were appointed to the Supreme Court. If you've seen that chart where they go side by side and they look at their record. And the other thing is, and I tried to make this point last night on his spaces, but I got drowned out because I said that she was a public defender. And the point that I was trying to make was she's a public defender. So why does that matter? It matters because she's the only one with experience of not just solely coming from the prosecutorial point of view when looking at the law. She actually has been on the defendant side of the law. And so that's right there, just in judicial thought, that matters. Because everybody else up there has been on the prosecutor's side. And that offers what we need on our Supreme Court in having a diverse point of view. Not only diverse in color, but a diverse point of view in terms of handling the law and how the law is applied. And so, once again, drop is gaslighting. I saw clips yesterday, and are you watching it today, or are you going to? Okay. So that'll actually is probably getting ready to start. So just be watching out for things. And the last thing I'll say is the Republicans, they can't help who they are. They're proven time and time again that they can't help going to that rotten tree, eating the rotten tree of white nationalism and racism. They can't help it. And so what I have to say to black people is, why would you support that party? I mean, yes, the Democrats have a lot of flaws. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't bigots. But what I am saying is, why would you go to a party? They telling you up in your face, just with the Crown Act. And there's a story out here about this young man down in Florida that was a valedictorian, and they can't publish his picture because he has locks. And I'm like, that's what we're talking about with the Crown Act. And these people voted against the Crown Act. So what part of they don't see you as a human do you need to hear? How many times does it need to be put in your face? You're not human. While Drop is up there shilling for the Republicans, he needs to know they see his black ass as a nigwa. That's all they see him as. And he's carrying out the oppressor's message. You're oppressing your own people and they're using it against you. So, bro, that's all I got today. I just wanted to get that off. Again, but I just, for the record, had to clear that, Drop and his gaslighting. It just has to be met. It has to be met with full pushback. And I know you do it, but it also helps to have some reinforcement from others that come and push back on some of that nonsense that he's pushing. Have a nice day, Nate.
Thank you, Daryl. She's got a big job. So let me back up here. Thanks to for Daryl coming in. Appreciate that. You know, I got to do at least once a show. You know that. I got it over with. But let me switch gears here. I want to talk about the CPS superintendent. Some information has come out about her contract. She's got a 3-year contract. Her annual basis salary is $260,000, along with some other compensation and benefits as well. She'll get like a car monthly. She'll get some moving expenses and things like that, cell phone, laptop, things like that. $1 million in life insurance. From what I'm reading in this article in Cincinnati Inquirer, this is all sort of like par for people in her position. It's competitive. She got a big job. I mean, now that the decision is made, what I hope she does is I hope that she takes a real good look at some of the administrators. Now, administrators may not like that. I know a few administrators and friendly with a few friends. But I stand by what I said. You know, I'm speaking in general, not in particular. And, you know, as I thought about it, that's one thing that you get when you get somebody coming from the outside. Like, she don't know nobody here. She don't know nobody here. You know, she's making new allegiances and not allegiances, but she's making new acquaintances and getting to know people right now. So she don't have no ties to the old system. And just based on my own particular and personal experience, and then what I've heard a lot from parents is, you know, she needs to take a really good look at some of these administrators, principals, and also assistant administrators at these various schools, because that's where some of the problem is. That's where some of the problem is, right there. Because it all starts at the top and it trickles down throughout the school building. And it just seemed like when Laura Mitchell was there, you know, I don't even know what she was doing, quite honestly. So maybe that's what you'll get when you get somebody coming from the outside. They don't know anybody. They don't have no allegiances. I'm not friends with you. We didn't come up in the CPS system together. So she can look at things from a fresh perspective. And I've yet to meet her. I hope to speak with her soon. Here on the show, get a sense of, you know, what she's going to do. I'm going to give her some time to get her legs between, you know, her legs underneath her and figure out, you know, the lay of the land so we can actually have a conversation and it won't just be the same old response to everything. But I wanted to share that with you. 260. I don't know if that's too much. I mean, it sounds about right to me, I guess. I don't know these things. You know, Cincinnati Public Schools is huge. That's a huge thing. Cincinnati will never become what we want it to become unless CPS becomes what we want it to become, because they are producing our future leaders. And, you know, what kind of people are they producing out there? They producing critical thinkers that are going to go on and become entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, leaders in our community, college graduates, right? Or they're just going to finish high school and that's it. I don't know. Depends. It depends. It depends, but I wish her the best, though. I wish her the best, and we shall see. We shall see what happens. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Kamika writes, Marsha Blackburn was not just talking about her record. Yeah, I try to correct drop on that. A lot of them were talking about race. They brought up race. Like Daryl said, from what I saw, it was the Republicans that brought up race and CRT and white privilege. It wasn't the Democrats. That was her. Then Drop calls in and he wants to blame the Democrats. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. What were you watching? I don't get him. Get him, Nate. Don't let Drop lie. Let me see. Lady G was sour grapes that the moderate judges from his state wasn't selected. Lady G. Are you talking about Lindsey Graham, Lady G? You are hilarious for that. Lady G, that is too funny, Lady G. Oh my God, we may have to absorb that into the, until the show, the Chop Shop show, I guess, the words that we use. Man, Lady G, that's hilarious. Brenda writes, Drop Squad is making your beard itch, little bro. That's right. That's what little brothers do, man. I'm the oldest of I got 2 little brothers, 2 little sisters. They try to get underneath your skin and make your beard itch, and they gonna poke and prod. That's what they gonna do. That's what it is. It comes with the territory. There were about 5 black women on the list, right? Right. Yeah, they were. I mean, how you gonna tell? And then Lindsey Graham's like, yeah, we chose this black woman. Y'all chose her. But yeah, we love black women because we was gonna choose her. Get out of here, Lindsey Graham, please. Please. Brent Rice, coon chip activated, form of Clarence Thomas, shape of Herschel Walker. You wrong for that. Coon chip activated, is that right?
You're not natural, baby. I see.
I built the whole planet. I ain't going
takes a
nowhere.
little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chip.
That's all it does. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know what the hell Drop was talking about this morning. I have no idea. But let me move on. 513-873-7134 if you'd like to share your thoughts this morning. Now, we kicked off the show talking about Deshaun Watson. I just want to hit you to some of the controversy that's happening. Our friends up in Cleveland, the Cleveland Browns organization, they were so jelly of the Bengals Super Bowl run that they went out and they got a person that's got a questionable history. But all the big sports analysts are saying he's tight when he comes to throwing the football, Deshaun Watson. So it's kind of like, do we really care about it? And there's this big conversation now about the morality of it. And I'm like, morality? The NFL has never been about morality. The NFL has never been about a rally. It's a show. They put on a show, and the show goes on. It's a whole bunch of billionaires competing amongst each other. That's what it really comes down to. It's a whole bunch of billionaires competing amongst each other, right? They all want to outdo each other and prove that they can put together a sports championship. That's what it's all about. They don't care about you. They care about you in as much as you show up to pay for their game. Other than that, they don't care. Morality. Look at Colin Kaepernick. Morality. Look at concussions. I mean, the NFL knew this for years. They knew for years that you could get serious injuries from playing the game of football. And for years, they were marketing the biggest hits. They don't do it anymore. But for years and years and years, so like new football fans, you won't remember this. But there was a time when the NFL via Sports Illustrated would put out a video of the hardest hits. They would show players getting knocked out. They would show head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet contact. It was all a part of the game, right? It was the Parthenon, right? The gladiators. We want blood. Yeah, give us more, give us more. They would show head injuries in terms of head-on-head helmet collisions. They would show people getting knocked out. They would show the biggest hits. But then when all this stuff came out about the traumatic and long-term debilitating effects of being knocked in the head over and over and over again, they backed away from all of that, right? Now they throw a penalty flag for you, right? It's all about keeping the game going. That's what it's really all about. It's about the show. And so with Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland Browns don't give a damn about these women. Number one, he wasn't found guilty in a criminal court, so that's number one. That opened the door for them to embrace him. And number two, they're trying to compete with the Bengals. They're trying to compete with the Bengals. When the Bengals was sorry, the Browns was okay with the Bengals being sorry. Now that the Bengals are like looking like they got a team that could be a dynasty, the Browns don't want to be left behind. So if they got to get somebody that may have did something strange to women, I mean, they're only women, right? They're just women's. I mean, all he did was allegedly force a woman to have oral sex. I mean, what's the big deal with that, right? All he did was expose himself. I mean, hey, you are giving women they are giving you a massage, right? What's the big deal? Right? And if the Browns come out and they do well over the next couple seasons, even some of the sports critics will fall in love with it because winning is everything in that world. It's everything. It makes everything better, right? As long as you're winning, that's what the story is. The Browns are headed to the playoffs, right? Watch. Even the critics will shut up because they're winning, I guess. Hey, the ends justify the wins. I guess they knew something. We live in a crazy culture, y'all. We live in a crazy culture. You see, Kamiki writes, she's guaranteed confirmation. The GOP is just out here dog whistling the races in Coons, right? Right. She's guaranteed. They're just, Kamika said it best. Dale writes, this is how Drop runs his spaces, cutting off people. Well, listen, I want my boys Drop spaces to blow up. I want him to blow up. He wants it. I want it for him. And I'll just leave it like that. I did drop in once, and Drop can be a little bit overbearing. This is my room. Wait, hold on. This is my room. I'm like, Drop, chill, bro. It's a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to agree with you, man. Anthony writes, GOP uses a couple of token black politicians, and Drop is okay with that. Jerica's in the house. She writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. Good morning to you. Is Tracy in here? I got a bone to pick with Tracy. She posted something on her Instagram. You should follow Tracy from Cincinnati on Instagram. She posts a whole bunch of interesting stuff. But she posted something about Kevin Samuels, which I just want to, I'm with you just a little bit more time here, just a short amount of time, but I'm like, really? That's what we doing? Yeah, she posted a meme from Red Pill, and it's a photograph of Kevin Samuels. See this right here? Read that. Can you read that? Can you see that? It seems like it's backwards. People just love to hate on Kevin Samuels, even when he says things that are true. So apparently this is a quote from Kevin Samuels. Quote, ladies, understand something. When a man asks you out on a date, he's asking to have sex. If you don't want to have sex with him, don't go out on a date with him. That's from Kevin Samuels. And Tracy from Cincinnati posted, people really listen to this guy? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Let me read some of the comments. And then I read the comments, and it's a whole bunch of women agreeing with that nonsense. And I'm thinking, what did he say that was wrong? Like, what did he say was wrong? I don't get it. Most men, when they ask a woman out on a date, they do want to have sex. They hope that the date opens the door to the sex. That's been since Happy Days and before that. I mean, that's just what it is. But since it's coming from Kevin Samuels, oh God, he said something wrong. What's wrong with that? Isn't that the truth? And what's wrong with that? So now wanting to have sex with a woman is a bad thing? Oh, gosh darn it. We can't win for losing. Where is Tracy from Cincinnati? Is Tracy in here? Where you at, Tracy? Because I got to call her out on that BS. I'm like, what did he say that was wrong? That's a bad thing now, ladies? Now, maybe we're talking about women from a different age brackets and different expectations, but I don't see nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I'm going to bring it. Tracy, if you're not in here, I'm going to bring it up to you probably maybe later in the week then. I saw that. I'm like, wait a minute, huh? That's a bad thing now? Oh, my God. TC writes, wondering what drip is Drop putting in his coffee this morning. When you said drip, it made me think of, and I haven't heard from her in a minute. I hope she's still listening. Drop had a nemesis. She used to call in. I'm not sure what happened. TNT writes, the Republicans are doing it to themselves. Right. The Carlton Banks of the show. Is that right? I'm not saying that Drop is wrong all the time. Every once in a while, he be right. And I think his viewpoint is his viewpoint. I think it's very valuable. But come on, man. Keep it real. Ron writes, dude definitely running from the question, right? He ran from that question quick. Brent writes, translation. Nate, the way you asked the question is not on my 4x6 index cards that the Republicans gave me. Kinder writes, what happened to love at first sight? What happened to love at first sight? I'm not sure. That came in at 9 o'clock. I'm not sure what you responded to, Kinder. Not sure. Jericho writes, please let him get out of it so he can move on. No, I will not do that. No, absolutely not. Kamiki writes, she is overqualified. It appears that she is. Damn, y'all going in. Damn. Y'all going in. Angela writes, you are not going to buy me a meal and think I'm going to have sex with you. Okay, then my motto is, ussy, not free in America, LOL. Yeah, but I don't think that's what it is. Yeah, but that's the first, and that could be the first step in leading to that, though. It's not like a man thinks just because he gives you dinner Who thinks that? I mean, that's a caveman thinking like that. Nah, but that could open the door for the relationship that leads to that. It's always been that way. God damn, it just seems like a man can't even be a motherfucking man no more. Like it's wrong for a man to be interested in a woman for sex. What's wrong with that? That's men and women. But when women do it, it's all good. What's wrong with that? I don't see how that's a problem. I got to talk to Tracy about that. Let me see. I don't do Kevin Samuels either. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. My dad used to tell me the same thing. If you don't like a guy, then don't go out with him or accept a drink for him. Exactly. If you ain't really into him, then don't waste his time or let him know I'm just into it for the conversation. This ain't going nowhere. The hell? Kevin Samuels is trash? Oh, my gosh. I thought we talked about this, Micah. I thought we talked about this. I thought we came to an agreement that Kevin Samuels is on point. Cass writes, men can be men, Nate, but damn, if it's all you want, just say that up front. She might be on the same page. I'm not against that. But when I saw this post from Tracy, I'm just picking on her because she won a chop shop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wait a minute, what's she trying to say? What he said is true. Man tell you want to go out to dinner? He's hoping that dinner leads to you eventually saying yeah. It's not like you're indebted. It's just that's dating. So now you can't date somebody? Oh, my God. Angela writes, well, just say that from the jump and don't play games. I'm with you 100% on that. Crystal writes, Nathan, I understand where you and Samuel are coming from. Women look at men and say, yeah, he can get it. Come on now, we grown. Right. Thank you, Crystal. Women do that all the time. They know within the first couple seconds whether just on the physical, they'd be willing to do it. But when a man do that, somehow he's belittling you. I'm more than just my vagina. I'm sure you might be, sis, but I'm only interested in the vagina. That's it. I mean, we can be cool. Maybe we can go to the movies afterward, or maybe we might spark a relationship. What's wrong with that? I think it depends on the woman and the man. That's what I think. And I'm going to leave you with that. I really appreciate you being here. As I said earlier, I plan to leave at 9, but having so much fun. I had to stay with the conversation, wanted to put a few things out there. I'll be back and hopefully better than ever for you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. We'll chop it up on people, politics, and pleasure. Have a tremendous Tuesday. In fact, make it a tremendous Tuesday. And I'll be back with you before you know it. All right. If you want to connect with me directly, you can do so easily on social media. Just hit me up on Facebook or on Twitter, or maybe even IG. I will respond promptly. Have an excellent rest of your Tuesday, family. And remember our motto. Winners focus on winning. Winners focus on winning. And losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm out.
Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what?